Hello. What's happening, friends? Good morning or good afternoon. Oh my goodness. You're like, this isn't John. This isn't Nadia. No, it's not John or Nadia. But I'm so excited to be here with you all. My name is Jenn Cooper. Everybody calls me Coop. And when John said a few days ago, hey, Coop, would you like to host Money Monday? You don't tell the man, the myth, the Melton, no. You just don't tell him no. I'm so honored to be here with all of you guys. I am excited to have this conversation because for any of you all that have ever felt like you don't have enough time to work your business successfully, that you maybe, when you do have the right time or you do have the time and you sit down, you're like, what should I even be doing right now? And then before you know it, when you do that and you're not sure exactly what you should be doing, distraction sets in. You start scrolling through some reels because they're so catchy these days. They're so catchy. You start scrolling through them and then somebody needs you and somebody else ends up taking your time. You guys, if that's you and you feel sometimes in your business that you're a bit scattered throughout your day, just know that I feel you because I was you. And sometimes, I'll just be real, sometimes I still feel that way. I have moments, but then I have to come back, remember some of the things that we're going to be talking about today with Time Mastery Secrets. That's what I'm calling it because it's super fun. And I think that you guys are going to get a lot out of this because it's going to resonate with so many of you that want to accomplish more, minimize distractions, cut out the fluff, own your time so that you can own the results that are waiting for you. How does that sound? Are you guys excited? All right, as you are tuning in, please say what's up, Coop. And if you're catching this on a replay, I want you to drop in the comments replay and tell us where you're tuning in from. I see Jessica. What's up, Jess? Hi, Norman. I see Shelly. I see Karen, my friend Karen, tagging her friends. You guys, if you are working with any teams right now, if you are building business of any kind that involves other people maximizing their time, or maybe you're in your network marketing business. By the way, this applies to all business sectors, but if you're in network marketing and you're working with people that have full-time jobs and maybe they're working a couple different things, you're going to want to tag them right now and you're going to want to share this with your team. I have been in the profession 10 years, friends, and I have learned that these principles we're going to talk about today literally changed my trajectory and my future in this sector, and not just this sector, because once I mastered some of these principles, I ended up being really good with my time, and it freed up a little bit more time to be able to, and more doors open and more opportunities to build other things and expand on other projects because I was a master of my time. And I sincerely hope this resonates with you. And I'm excited because I've never done one of these with a slide deck presentation, but I got one for you. So if you guys are ready, drop some flames in the comments below and let's kick this sucker off, okay? Again, I want to welcome you guys to the Time Mastery Secrets. I guess you could call this a workshop because we're going to talk about the winning blueprint that's going to favor your progress in not just your business, but also in your life. Does that sound good to you guys? Can you see a lot of what we talk about? You think it applies to only business, but guess what? It's transferable to other aspects of our life as well. So let's move forward. Today, we are going to learn to treat our minutes like money, keep our commitments to our commitments, and train discipline to be the greatest force of our lives. You know why? I want to ask you a question. Who here would really love to have more confidence, more belief in themselves? Just in life, and also belief in their ability to scale business. Drop some hearts in the comments if you would love that. Because here's the truth. When you keep your commitment to your commitments, and we train and habitualize certain disciplines, it will become the seed that turns into the confidence and belief in yourself that you seek. So, just so I can introduce you guys a bit to, give you a behind the scenes. The little peanut on the left, that is my daughter Miley. I think she was about 1.5. Isn't she so cute? I think she was about 1.5 in this picture. And I'll tell you something that I distinctly remember. I remember a time in my network marketing business, I think I was about 2.5 years in, right? Where I was all in. Is anybody here, like, drop in the comments in capital letters, all in, if you are all in your business right now, because whatever business sector you're in, because that's where I was in that picture. She was about 1.5. And so sweet, doing all the fun things, right? The giggles, the crawling, just the funny things. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm killing it right now. I am all in my business. I was on all the calls. I was on all the Zooms. I was on the trainings. I was helping facilitate them. I was growing and I was growing. And I started, growing my bank account. And guess what I started noticing happen? I used to keep the baby monitor next to the computer screen in my office. And I would be there at the wee hours of the morning and also at nighttime, pretty much all the time that I wasn't with my kids. She stopped calling for me in the monitor. She stopped calling for her mom because she knew that her mom was working. And if this is about time freedom, and we hear all of everybody talking time freedom, shouldn't we be taking this seriously? If it's about time freedom, I can promise you at that time when my baby was no longer calling for me, I promise you that was a red flag to me. Something had to give, but I didn't know how to do it. Take you to another moment. That little guy in the middle, that's my son, Bryce. He's one of 2. I've got twins and they turned 10 today. Today's their birthday. And any gray hairs that you see on my head are from this little guy. Can't you just see it in his look? Can't you just see it? He's responsible for every gray hair that I have to pluck out of my head. His name is Bryce, and I'll never forget the time I was sitting on the floor of one of those, those indoor play spots where you're pretty much walking into a petri dish of bacteria and all the grossness that comes with a place like that. You're basically paying them a lot of money to contract some type of illness upon arrival. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there on the floor of this disgusting place. And it's the end of the month. I got my phone in my hand and my thumbs are moving a mile a minute and I'm using my audio. It's the end of the month and I'm trying to hammer it out and crush it. And I don't know how long he was calling for me over on the device that he was on, saying, "Mommy, look, mommy, mommy." Until he got down, came over to me, crawled up on my lap where I was sitting in between my arms where I was holding my phone. And he took my phone and threw it across the floor. And I knew again in that moment, red flag. Last, the picture on the right. Hey guys, let me ask you something first. Does everybody have like a number in mind? Like your number. Like if I hit this number, then I'll be happy. If I can just get $1,000 a month, I won't have to get another job during this recession. I can beat inflation if I can just get another $1,000 a month. I'm gonna be happy. I'll be fulfilled. If I can just earn $5,000, $3,000 a month, then I'll be able to cut back on my hours and spend a little more time with my family, and I'll be happy. Guys, what's your number? Drop your number. Everyone's got a number. My number at that time was 10 grand. That picture on the right was when I had finally hit 6 figures in my network marketing business. And I got the free car, the free trips. The thing that I had been chasing for so long. And I said, if I can get there, I will have done the thing. I'll be happy. That picture on the right, I was so scattered, so lost with my time. And I felt out of control, anxious, and I wasn't sure that I was cut out for it anymore. It was at that time that I realized time is our most precious asset, more than money, more than things. And the fact is, we don't know how much we've got left. Some of you all may know this a little too well, but you don't know how much time. Just knowing and feeling that, it's time to get control of our clock. Are you guys with me? Drop a I'm with you, Coop, in the comments, and make sure you are sharing this with your people. We are going to get into some good stuff. Okay, we are going to talk about 3 things: mindset around our time, optimizing our clock, as well as disciplining our clock. Friends, let's get into the mindset around time, because what's the point in giving you the tactical if we don't get our heads right? None of the rest of it's going to matter. It's like I could give you the checklist, I could give you the tactical, and you'd be like, okay, got it. But if our minds are not in it, if they're not fundamentally in the right realm, in the right frame of mind, everything you do, it won't matter. It will just fall through. Almost like a strainer, the water just falls through. It'll just fall through. So we're going to start with mindset. Guys, I want to know, you're going to love this conversation today. If you ever felt like there's not enough hours in the day, my friends and family just don't get it. By the way, I actually did a podcast this morning I released on just that topic about friends and family not getting it. You can get it on my wall if you want to check it out. And I'm not sure what to do when I do have the time and that overwhelms me and then I do nothing. Or the if-then stories we tell ourselves. If you've ever felt like, if I can do this, then I'll be happy. If I can do viral reels like so-and-so, in my team, then I'll be happy. If I can go live like a freaking stud muffin like John Melton, then I'm going to be well on my way to closing business. That's the if-then stories that we tell ourselves. I want to know, was it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Drop in the comments which number, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one resonated with you most? I'd love to see. And I also want to have some truth talk, friends. Here's some questions. When you really be honest, do you truly not know what to do? When you do have time, do you truly not know what you should be doing? Because my guess is that what you should do, but may rather not do, is likely the root of our inaction. Did that hit home? What you should do, but would rather not do, meaning you've got to do some prospecting today. That likely means that you're going to get told no. That likely means that, some people may not be on board with what you have to share. And knowing that rejection is kind of part of the process. It's part of building business, friends. By the way, that's when you're building your skill sets and what I call your resiliency factor. When you are getting rejected, you need to understand that in business, this is where you're developing your superpowers. Oh, I'm so glad, Michael. He says that he loves this. I'm so glad. We haven't even gotten to the good stuff. Just wait. Is this a truth that maybe you're not prepared and relentlessly committed to the right habits with the minutes you have? Because the reality is, the less prepared you are with your time, the easier it is for someone else to take it. Whether it's, oh gosh, Sarah, we're not even into the good stuff yet. Just wait, girlfriend. You're going to love this. It's going to help you so much. whether it's if your time is being taken because you're aimlessly, you get distracted by whatever social media puts in front of you, or it's distracted by other things you got going on in your house because you haven't prepared your environment to be conducive for your creative brilliance to come out. And yes, every one of you has creative brilliance. I promise you do. At some point, guys, the buck stops with us. Anyone know what that means? I feel like it was Teddy Roosevelt that used this expression. I think it was President Roosevelt. The buck stopping with us has to do with accountability, ownership. You see, people only take our time when we haven't clearly defined the terms. You see, a lot of times in business, Jennifer says, I needed this today. Girl, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And I sincerely hope that this just rocks your socks as we get really into the good stuff. Remember, this is just mindset. Tactical stuff is coming right up. People take our time when we haven't clearly defined the terms. If you're in business for yourself, odds are you're kind of making your own terms, your own schedule, your own style, your own way that you operate your business. It's going to be different from this person to that person, right? But if you know that someone is a teacher and it's the middle of a day in February, it's the middle of a Tuesday, you kind of know what a teacher is doing in the middle of the day on a Tuesday during the school year, right? But in business, we need to learn to clearly define our terms so that nobody feels they can impede on our time. I would not expect my brother, who is a school teacher, to be able to answer his phone in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, because I already know without him telling me that he is in that role. Now, in our own business, it's on us to clearly define the terms. Guys, if you are with me, drop a I'm with you, Coop, if you felt that. And here is a reality. How we bring people in is how we bring them up. My girl Taylor Thompson is so brilliant, and I love how she says that because it really is true. This is all about duplication. And years ago, when I was running myself ragged on all the calls, on all the training, early in the morning, late in the evening, what was I teaching people that were coming into my business? Drop in the comments. What are we teaching people if we're bringing them in scattered all over? Because how we bring them in is how we bring them up. And if they think that's what they need to do to succeed, they're probably not going to want to do it. You know what I mean? We're never going to drift through our day and arrive at our desired destination. Ooh, I know some of y'all felt that. All right, so here's some homework for you, okay? Guys, I want you to pinky promise me that you're not going to make this experience that we're having today together. Pinky promise me that you're not going to make this another training and another workshop that you just watch and you don't do anything with. Pinky promise me, because you wasting your time on my training that is about not wasting time, that would be the ultimate failure to me if you walked away from this and didn't do anything with it. So pinky promise me that you will do this homework, friends. This is what I call the time audit. You need to brain dump. I don't care what you need to take, put it on a Post-it, some pieces of paper, a notebook, a clean diaper. Anybody that's trained with me long enough knows that I have a bazillion kids. I have 4 kids, by the way. I only showed you 2 of them, but I have 4 kids. I got diapers in my purse. And if I need to jot down notes quickly, then I'm writing it on a diaper sometimes, or a Starbucks bag, or my hand, whatever I need to do. You got a brain dump. Where are you spending? And you guys probably think that I'm being facetious. I am not. And those of you that know me, you know, don't you? Where are you spending your time? You cannot buy back your time until you know exactly where you're spending it. Your time is money. You cannot earn it back until you know where it's being spent. Second, what is the biggest time suck that we can eliminate or outsource or delegate? Be honest. For me, it's been cleaning my house. I now have a cleaning service, and I make sure that I don't waste that time. If they coming in to clean my house, I better be getting busy investing my minutes into something else that moves me forward, either personally or professionally. But to pay for it and not have a plan of what to do with those minutes and where to invest them, it would be a waste. And lastly, what is something that brings you lots of joy? In fact, brain dump lots of things. What brings you lots of joy, but you don't intentionally allocate minutes to? Is it reading? Is it a spa day? Is it going out to dinner with friends? Is it having a conversation with a friend on the phone? Is it gardening? Is it journaling? What is it that brings you so much joy, that makes you feel joyful, that when you do the thing, you leave, when you're done with it, you're like, man, why don't I do this more often? You see, when I realized back when I mastered these disciplines and I got real intentional, I was like, God, I love going on dates with my husband. So now every Thursday for about 5 or 6 years, every Thursday has been our date night. I don't care what I need to do in order to make that happen, that it brings us joy, and I intentionally allocate resources and my minutes to Thursday date nights every week. I highly recommend it. All right, next. Are you guys getting something out of this? Let me know in the comments if you're getting something out of this, okay? Because I want to hear from you. Hi, Craig. Craig just tagged a bunch of his friends and teammates. Craig, thank you so much. You guys, don't keep this to yourself. I'm telling you, I feel like if everybody was more disciplined with their time, I truly believe, because at one point I was not either, but I truly believe that they will experience more joy, more fulfillment, and ding, 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 more production in less time. I truly believe this. Now, let's talk about optimizing our clock. In case you're wondering, friends, all right, is this just like some mumble jumble? Is this something that, Coop came up with? I want you to know that this is something I have been teaching on for a long time. My friend Jenny, when she implemented my exact best client ever, when she implemented this, look at her feedback. And I want you to really hear her words. I can't believe how much time I have. I own my time. I get my essential work done in a few hours instead of all day, less overwhelmed because she does the hard things first. She keeps commitments she makes to herself, changing her energy and her confidence instead of procrastinating. She has more fun and can actually live while hitting her goals. Guys, dude, if you want to feel that way, drop some flames in the comments, because I'm going to show you exactly how. Because you need to know and understand, work-life balance is a plan. It is not a feeling. Everybody's like, oh, I wish I had more work-life balance. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it comes from a plan. It does not come from a feeling that you have that day. Okay? Work-life balance, I want you to picture like a dreidel. You spin a dreidel, and then when it eventually starts to fall heavy on one side or the other, what eventually starts to happen? It starts to spin a little bit out of control until it eventually falls down. If we are not intentional about our time in multiple sectors of life as well as business, if we're at one point, I was only heavy on the business because I was running, I was all in, and many of you are too. But if you're all in on the business and you're not intentionally plugging in time to things that feel, your joy, things that feed your aliveness, as Brendan Burchard shares, he always says the rest of it will crumble down if you're not intentionally feeding your aliveness. On that dreidel, if we're not feeding our time into multiple areas in addition to business, the dreidel is going to spin off kilter. And eventually you're going to come crumbling down. I do not believe, come at me, Karen. You guys, who has heard these words? Yes or no? Have you heard the words IPA or DMO? What do they stand for? Drop it in the comments. What do they stand for? IPA, DMO? Because I'll tell you right now, IPA, I do not believe is synonymous with a DMO. I don't. IPA stands for income producing activities, AKA business. DMO is a daily method of operation, how we operate day in and day out. I don't know about y'all, but that's life too. It's not just business, right? I do not believe that they are the same. I believe IPAs need to be worked into our DMOs, but I do not believe that they are the same. Guys, we got to get rid of building business, whatever way the wind blows us, building in the nooks and crannies, and selling randomly to whoever stumbles across your reel or whoever happens to drop in on your stories, and getting rid of the fear of rejection and avoiding the work because of it. By the way, see that last one? That rejection and avoiding what we would rather not do? That's actually the path to unlocking your superpowers and your ability to scale your business. Oh my gosh. Let's keep going, shall we? Optimizing our clock. Here's the secret sauce. You might want to screenshot this right now. I'm going to move fast. You're going to want to screenshot this, friends. Identify very first your personal, non-negotiable daily activities. It could be any of these things. You need to, now don't just copy Coop, because this is what Coop said. I want you to do the homework and brain dump yourself. What are Sarah's non-negotiables? What's Leah's personal non-negotiables? What's Jennifer's personal non-negotiables? Thanks for being here, friends. I want you to think about what yours are. These are some of mine. Number 2, you're going to want to screenshot this. Then identify your business non-negotiables. Remember, these are examples of mine. You may, whatever sector of business you are in, you need to take the time to brain dump yourself. This, guys, the reason I'm not giving you a checklist is because the reason my system works is because I give you the blueprint. I give you the know-how. It's on you to plug in what's important for you. Who am I to tell Brittany what she should be doing? What's her most important thing? No, this is about building your life by design. Do you see? These are some of my business non-negotiables. Number 3, this is the third thing you're going to do. Take both of those columns, the brain dump, and you're going to force rank them. What's the most important things that must be done? They're all important, but put it this way. If you only got to do the first few, the top portion completed, what tasks would make you feel like you won the day? Because guess what? When you do that and you aim to, I know that you got big goals, guys. If you got big goals and a big vision, if you're like one of the crazy ones, right? Drop a hashtag crazy town in the comments. Because if you're tuning into the Meltons Weekly, if you are still on here right now, welcome to the crazy family, friends. I'm so happy that you're here. But you need to know that even with the crazy dreams that you got, we got to focus on winning each day. What happens when you win enough days? Eventually, do you think you're going to win the big thing? Are you going to move the needle forward if you win each day? Number 4, I want you to identify your game time. This is your biggest, most uninterrupted block of your entire day. This is where you can, a lot of people like me, back in my early years in my business, in my entrepreneurial journey, back in my early years, I didn't have a game time. I had an all the time. I was always in my phone. I was scattered. Oh, why? Because that's what was told to me and modeled for me. Remember, how you bring them in is how you bring them up. And what was modeled for me was building in the nooks and crannies of your day. So it was like here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there. So by the end of the day, I felt like literally I'd worked all day and I didn't really get a whole lot done. Hands up if you've ever felt that way, or drop a I have in the comments. You gotta, I see guys, when I identified my game time, which ended up being nap time, I call myself to this day, my youngest is 2. I call myself a nap time CEO. I have built my businesses during nap time. When the baby goes down and I quietly shut that door behind and say, I love you. I shut that door and the hourglass turns over and it's game time. Identify your game time, your biggest, most uninterrupted time block of the day. Number 5, this is what you do next. You go and play some Tetris. Is that still a thing or am I just really old? I feel like that's still a thing. When you play Tetris with your time, I want you to look at your day from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. And I want you to know when your game time is. And by the way, during your game time, you lop off that top chunk of after you force ranked your business non-negotiables, AKA your IPAs. When you lop off the top chunk of that, you slide it right into your game time. And that, my friend, is a winning recipe to scale your business forward. Now, here's the thing. Well, actually, we're going to get into this next. Hang on. I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse. Drop value, guys, if you're getting something out of this, because we're going to start to, hit it home now. The next thing you need to do when you finally get your schedule in place, you got to get the buy-in from whoever you need to be on your side. Because remember from earlier, the buck stops with us. It's on us to clearly define and communicate our intentions and what we need. And guess what? So many people, including me, I spent so much time trying to close customers and close business partners and move the needle forward. And what I realized was I wasn't getting the buy-in from my number one customer. And that was my husband. We need our person on our side. So many of you guys are like, no, my husband doesn't support, or my wife doesn't support my business, or my family doesn't support it, or whatever. Well, let me ask, have you communicated your intention and gotten their buy-in so they feel a part of your process, not like an outsider looking in? It's money right there, friends. Here's homework number 2. You ready? Drop a pinky in the comments, or drop pinky promise. Guys, again, do not make this the last 33 minutes. Do not make this a waste of your time. This is literally why I am still in business today. Even when I was doing really well and I passed my first 6 figures, I thought to myself, if this is how it's got to be done, I don't even know that I want to do it, let alone bring other people into it. I was stressed, anxious, out of control, and not in control of my time. I promise you, this all saved me, and it can save you too. Your relationships, your fulfillment, your joy, and your success in revenue, in your business. If you want some of that, I need you to drop money in the comments. You better all be wanting money. You better all put it in some capital letters too, with like some emojis and super fun stuff. I want to feel it. Number 2, build your dream day with the 5 steps I just gave you. And then I want you to share it with someone. Share it with a power partner, not an accountability buddy. Oh, they're my accountability buddy. Usually an accountability buddy means someone that you can have vent sessions with. I need some power partners. I need someone that's not going to let me settle for a watered down version of me. I want to know, who's your power partner? Tag them in the comments. Who needs to hear this? Who's your power partner, friends? I actually got several. I have several. These are people that I show up daily for when I can't show up for myself. You need to be able to share this with that person. Yes. Last but not least, we're going to discipline our clock. Guys, discipline is the silent driver of all the success that you will have. Discipline. Do you know, has anybody ever said, gosh, I need to be more consistent. I need to be consistently showing up. I need consistently to be reaching out. I need to consistently be following up when I'm supposed to. Drop a yes if that's you. Drop a yes if that's you. Because I want to share a moment with you. It's never about discipline. Or I'm sorry, it's never about consistency. It is not consistency that we lack. It's discipline. That's it. And discipline. And I'm not saying that some days it's not really hard to show up, especially when anybody ever have like life smack you upside the head like a cinder block? It's rough, man. It's hard. Some days life is flat out unimaginable and painful and brutal. It's beautiful because we get to experience it, but it's brutal because sometimes it's just really hard. When we learn to adopt and implement our habits under the most difficult conditions, because we're disciplined, guess what comes out of that? Confidence, trustworthiness, resilience, self-esteem, self-worth, significance. I want you to drop in the comments some hearts if you would love to feel those things, because I'm going to help you learn how. Jim Rohn says that best. Discipline is the silent driver of success. And here's what's going to happen. If you, like you pinky promised, if you implement the 5 steps I just shared, 2 things are going to become abundantly clear. Are you ready for me to share the 2 things that will become abundantly clear? 1, you've got time. I know, true story. And 2, you lack discipline. But it's okay. I did too. I did too. And I am here now, far more disciplined in many areas of my life because I implemented exactly what I created and just shared with you. So I am proof that it can happen. And here's what happened. When I mastered my DMO, here's what I started to learn about this thing called the cascade effect. Think about a cascade. Can you picture it? Almost like snowflakes or glitter, or just sprinkling through the air and just kind of spreading out around you. The cascade effect. Go back to the source of where the glitter comes from. When you are disciplined in one area, guess what I noticed started to happen? When I got really focused on my activities and my IPA block, I started noticing that I became more disciplined in my healthy eating habits. I became more disciplined and regimented when knowing when to take my supplementation and my nutrients. I became really disciplined on, getting my walks in the morning and my morning gratitude. The cascade effect tells us that when we pick one area to be disciplined in, even if it's making your bed every day, 30 days, gonna make my bed, because successful people supposedly make their beds. I'm not going to ask questions with question a bazillionaire. I'm just going to trust that what they say makes sense. So I'm going to make my bed every day for 30 days. If I make my bed like I set out to every day for 30 days, do you think I'm going to build some self-trust in myself that might actually cascade over to other areas of my life? You guys, here are, in closing, here are some juicy nuggets to keep your discipline needle. I want you to picture the needle on a gas gauge or the RPMs in a car, the needle moving forward. That's the objective. We're not striving for perfection. I need you all to drop this in the comments. Progress favors the prepared. Progress favors the prepared. You want to move the needle forward? You want to inch closer to that big, crazy vision while you're focusing on winning each day? You want to do that? You got to be prepared. Yes. All right, check it out. Number one, you got to be prepared with who? Who are you showing up for when you can't do it for yourself? I have a vision board that's right in it doesn't really make sense where it is on our wall, but I walk past that wall a million times a day. That's why it's there. It's a little out of place, but it's also a great conversation starter. On that vision board, I've got pictures of my family. I've got pictures of champions like John and Nadia, like Rob Sperry, like, oh my gosh, so many of them, Michelle Cunningham, beautiful people that I run with, power partners, if you will. They're not accountability buddies. They're people that I show up for when I can't do it for myself because life gets hard. You got to be prepared. Is it your children? My children, there's a picture of them in the middle of my vision board, and it says, family is all that matters. How would I feel if I let my kids throw in the towel on themselves or let themselves off the hook? How would I feel if I let them think that was okay? Because I love them, it is my duty and obligation to teach them to continue to show up for themselves. So they are part of what I'm prepared with when it is hard, when it is unimaginable moving and life is hitting me in the face. I am prepared with them. I see them everywhere, and it reminds me of what I want to instill and impress upon them. Right? Number two, another way that I keep my discipline needle moving forward is that I taste my words before spitting them out. You see, many of you are going to take my blueprint. Believe it or not, a small fraction of you are actually going to trust what I'm saying and believe that this is worth investing your time and your energy into right now. Very small portion. Are you part of that small percent? Drop an I am if that's you right now, friends. Because I'll tell you what, when you implement what I've shared with you, you're going to say, oh my God, I'm so not disciplined. Oh my God, why can't I just figure my life out? Oh my God, I need to do this and I'm not doing it. Taste your words before you spit them out. Because what we speak enough or think enough, your brain, like a computer, it doesn't know right from wrong, good or bad. All it knows is what you download. So what you speak enough and think enough, the words you speak or you think enough of, your brain says, okay, roger that, Jess, roger that, Cynthia, I'm with you. I'm not good at discipline. I'm not a disciplined person. Your brain is going to say, got that, roger that, and accept it. Taste your words before you spit them out if you want to keep that needle moving forward, friends. Flip the script. Next, clean up your environment. Prepare to welcome success. I want you to think about how you feel in the morning. Guys, I have like a whole freaking litter at my house. It's bananas. The kitchen sink is constantly getting filled. I want to know, like, literally who changes their clothes as much as my 6-year-old daughter. Like, I'm like, it's almost like you take a breath, you don't even leave your room, and then all of a sudden you've got laundry that went down the chute. How? What? There's always so much. But you know what? I make it a point to clear my sink and clear the laundry and keep up with it because I'm preparing to welcome more success. I don't want to start my day behind. You know what, guys, you know what I mean if you're a parent. It's hard to keep up with. But if you want your discipline needle to keep moving forward, you got to stay on top of your environment because I can probably, by the way, your environment around you in your workspace tells you a lot about where you are or where you aren't in your business. Also, when I say social media, clean up your environment, some of y'all are tuning into people that you don't even like. You're tuning into people that are distracting you from what you know you should be doing. Clean it all up. You can quietly unfollow people. So many people I've unfollowed and they don't even know. It's glorious. There's no hurt feelings. Nobody even knows. Your people won't know. All right, guys, power of proximity. Guys, you got to get some more powerful people in your proximity. All those people I described on my vision board, they are in my proximity, and I will not bring drama, problems, headaches without solutions. Because sometimes we need to bounce ideas off people. If I'm like, listen, Leah, I'm having a lot of challenges with XYZ. Here's what I'm thinking might help. These two things are what I came up with, but I'm just reaching out because I'd love to hear. You're a total beast. I appreciate and value your input. What would your suggestions be if you've experienced this before? Literally, this is what I do with my powerful people are in my immediate proximity, not in every now and then. No. These are the people that I talk to the most. These are the people that I communicate with the most frequently. They're the people that I always see in my news feed. I power up my proximity with these people. I cut dead weight, that sounded bad. I keep dead weight at an arm's distance. You can lovingly care for people from afar, friends. Own your role. Be mindful of what you bring to that circle of influence. Yeah, right, Sarah? Guys, John and Nadia, they are as powerful as you get. The value and the generosity and the tangible and real-time practices, these are not things that they share with you guys that every day, all day long, every day, all year long. These are practices that are in the trenches right now. They're powerful, man. You should be following them every single day. Number 5, I want to implore you to become a stronger visionary and get real specific. I want you to get so specific that you literally fire up your brain chemicals and neurotransmissions and neural pathways so that your reticular activating system can go to work. The reason for this is when guys, I love how Andy Frisella says, you need to see yourself as that success story. You need to see yourself having done the thing that you are grinding and scrounging and scraping your way through to figure out. You have to imagine and vision yourself, what your life looks like when you get there. What does it feel like? Who is around you? You need to become a stronger visionary because your brain does not know the difference if you have achieved it or not yet. When you fire up these brain chemicals, you see, guys, when I close my eyes, I already know the lakefront property that me and my husband own. I know what kind of grass is there. It's the thick cut. It's not like, the real frail kind. It's like the real pretty green, thick grass. And there's lots of red and lots of yellow garden material, like types of flowers there. I can actually I can imagine going outside the back door and I can hear the waves lapping up against our own tri-tune, like a tri-tune pontoon boat. I can hear it. I can see the fallen tree that is now this big log that my kids love to sit on and or jump off the end of. Literally, I can close my eyes and I'm telling you exactly what I envision. And already I'm getting excited because it's that specific. And I'm firing up brain chemicals and I'm literally drawing I'm like reinforcing the neural pathways so that my reticular activating system, aka your RA, it's a filtration system in your mind. What it does is start to filter out anything that you tell it not to focus on, and it starts to focus on what you tell it is important to you. We will always gravitate towards the familiar. And you don't have to have done the thing in order to keep moving that needle forward and continue pressing on with your disciplines like a total boss before you've actually gotten to your target. You don't have to have hit your target in order to keep pressing those disciplines and moving that needle forward. Becoming a visionary is a very important piece. I want to know in the comments, what are you doing this for, friends? Why do it at all? And don't just say, I'm doing it for the money or I need the $1,000. Okay, what do you need the money for? Who's a part of it with you? Drop in the comments right now. Why do this at all? What is the big end goal? And I hope that you can take this and go live your life by design rather than default. Because remember, we'll never arrive at our desired destination if we're drifting through our day. Oh, what did you guys think? Was this helpful? I want to know. Drop in the comments. Oh my gosh. Alicia wants to fire her boss by the time that she's 50. Oh, I love that. And Alicia, it's so you can do what? What's so attractive to you? What's so attractive to being able to fire your boss? What comes after that? This is the specific that I'm talking about. Let's rewire our brains a bit. To improve your life, Jessica says, to live on her terms and not how others expect me to be. What does living on your terms look like, Jess? Specifically, give it a voice. Consider me your power partner. What does that look like, living on your terms? What does that look like to you? I would love for you to share that with me and with all of us. Give it a voice. Because guess what? The reason I tell you to share it with a power partner and to visualize and visioneer as much as you can is because you're giving it it's almost like a commitment. And we tend to gravitate and move towards that which we have committed to. It's also why I made you pinky promise. I love it. I put off spending time getting ready for the day, but I know that would light me up. And yes. Okay, I know your name's not Beauty in a Bun, but I'm sure you're really beautiful. What is your real name? That's so exciting. Blocking it on my calendar. That's right, Beauty in a Bun. Make an appointment with yourself and go back and do the homework that I shared with you today, so that when you enter into your day, you know exactly what you're doing with your time, so that when you know, nobody can infringe upon you. It's hard to unsettle a made-up mind. If you make up your mind, this is my day by design. I'm going to do my very best and give it all I have to get this DMO done and disciplined to the very best, not perfectly, but to the very, very best of my efforts, the very, very best of my abilities. Yes. Leah wants to move out of her mom's house at the by the end of her master's degree and help 15 families in her network marketing company. I love that. And Leah, I want you to get real specific. What exactly are you going to help them do? What is that going to look like? When you get clarity over where you going, makes it a whole lot easier to bring a welcome and attract other people along your mission and to partake in your mission. Alicia wants time freedom to give back to her community, travel. Okay, Alicia, I love this. I love this. I'm going to ask you again to get more specific. I want to know, where in the community are you giving back? Is it tithing to your church? Is it the Humane Society? Are you giving back to the PTA at your kid's school? Traveling. Where are you traveling to? I love me some travel. It's all over my vision board. I can see the view in Napa from the vineyard that I'm staying at with my husband to celebrate something with, or maybe just to go. But I can smell the wine that I'm going to be drinking. It's going to be during the fall. So I'm going to be drinking, the appley whites, but kind of moving into some dry reds too. It's on my vision board. I already know. That's where I'm traveling to. That's where I'm traveling to, Alicia. Where are you traveling? Where are you sitting on the plane? Are you in first class? Are you staying in an Airbnb? Are you staying at a resort? Are you staying on water? Or are you staying in a historical site in town? You see what I mean? I want you to get so good at thinking about what that feels like, because your brain doesn't know the difference. What are you going to help them do? Leah, you got to know what you're going to help them do. Think about it. Okay, compensate. Here's the thing. People will never do it for them. They will not go all in for the money. They won't participate for the money. Hence, how often in network marketing do people sign up to make money and then they don't do anything? There's your proof. I want you to think about drawing out of them. What would people do with the money? What is the money for? What need does it satisfy? What financial strains does $300 a month alleviate for them? What strains does it alleviate? That's what we need to be focusing on. Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Guys, I don't want to abuse your time. I hope that you got something out of this. Let me know in the comments your favorite part. What was your favorite nugget that just like you heard it and you're like, that's it. That's why I was here today. That's why I crossed paths with Coop. I want to know, we want to hear from you. And John and Nadia, you are the very, very best. The absolute very, very best. We are so grateful. Let's give them a shout out in the comments, friends, for how consistently and generously they show up unwaveringly to help each and every one of us expand our businesses, expand our mindsets, create an environment and in a community for all of us to feel a part of, because we are the crazy ones, right? They made that community for us. And they are truly one in a million. I love you both so very much. Thank you for allowing me to be here and share this special time with you, friends. I'd love to hear from you too, so feel free to reach out anytime. Have a great day, guys. Best week of your life starts right now. Mwah. Peace.